everybody. It is Christine. It is day 29 of 30 Days of Sketches with Christy's Beautiful Life. Here's our sketch. It was created by Laura Whipfler. Sorry about that, Laura. Cactus Screw Scrapbooking. Interesting. She's got, I'm going to call it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 photos. She's got kind of these cool scallop border stuff and then some circular, like embellishment clusters and your titles up there. So what I've pulled out, again, it's always one of those, okay, how many events do I have a bunch of photos of? And we had gone to Fossil Rim. It was that's not right. It wasn't in 98 because my daughter was born in 98. I'm going to call this, I have to go back and double check. I have it in a binder now, or a album, but I want to say it's 2004. And we've gone to Fossil Rim, which is here in Texas, and there's like dinosaur tracks, and it's like a little, like a safari, whatever you want to call it, where you drive through the cars or whatever. So I pulled those photos out, and I pulled out Vicki Boutin, because I always think of Vicki Boutin as like, I don't know, organic or something when it comes to, I don't know. And I also pulled it out because the scallop paper here, because I'm going to cut my scallop border out of this paper here. And maybe, you know, use some of this here. So I can use, if I cut the scallops from here, I then have these 2 pieces of paper as well. And I also got, I don't know why I pulled this, to be frank with you. I don't know. I pulled these the other day and set them aside so I could have them available. I did pull this one because the circles on here. I'm thinking in my head I can use these circles some kind of way. And then I've got this as my background. So that's kind of where I'm starting. Of course, I have tons of Vicki Boutin ephemera, and I'll use those and get going. So let me do this. Let me cut my pictures down to the right sizes, and then get my scallops cut, because that's going to take me a few minutes. And we'll come back on. Okay, everybody, quick check-in. What I have done is I did trim down, well, what'd I do with them all? Oh, they're there. I trimmed down my photos. So I got my 3x3s and my little 4x6 here. I'm going to turn this one like this to make it like that. And then I've got my 2 little pieces here. So that's kind of how we're going at this point. Like, I like that zebra. He's funny. And so we got that. And then I just took this piece of paper. Well, here's my scallops. And I'm not worried about this right now because I'm going to cover that up. So this is kind of interesting. So I think we'll go like this. And then this will come like this. And I'll add, I don't know if I'll just put like some straps along there is what I'm kind of thinking. And then, of course, I still have to do some things to kind of ground these things. I don't know in my mind yet. I haven't figured that piece out. And then what I did here is I just cut these circles off this paper, and then I scuffed the edges. So basically, you know, it's going to be something like this. It's just going to be boo-boo-boo. You know, I got to figure out a title. So that's kind of where we are. So I'm going to take these border strips off of here, and then I need to trim my papers here. And I may mat these photos because it does look a little strange without something going on, right? So now this actually calls for a little thing along the bottom. So I'll have to look at, and also I haven't pulled out any of my embellishments, y'all. I got to pull out some of my ephemeras and things like that. So let me get to cutting those things up, and I'll be right back. All right, y'all, I have pulled out something that I don't know if any of y'all have seen in a long time. It's those zigzag scissors. You know, them scissors we used to all use back in the day to cut around our photos. A huge mistake, y'all. We shouldn't be cutting zigzags on our photos, right? But I think we've all done it. But anyway, I pulled those zigzags out because I thought, you know what? I can turn that little polka dot into one of her little zigzag pattern borders. So I did either side of that little polka dot, and I'm going to trim that in half. I've also mounted all the photos on this, like, I don't want to call it newspaper print, but it's like wordy print bits. And I'm going to mat all the photos on that, because they weren't standing out off the wood grain to me. So I've done all that, and I'm going to have to apologize to you guys. So first off, technically this layout I'm actually doing last. I did my day 30 before I did this one because it was a single pager. I was kind of in a hurry trying to get videos done, and I needed to get this one last one here, and it was a 2-pager, and it was going to take me a little longer, so I saved it to last. So I'm actually doing 29 after I did 30. And then even with that, I've managed to make a 17-minute video or 16-minute video. So I have to apologize. I didn't mean for y'all to sit here so long. So I won't have hurt feelings if you skip over some of this stuff. But at the same time, I tried to cut out everything that wasn't helpful to the process. But I got to be careful because you kind of need to see some of this stuff, right? So what I've done is I've started gluing my, the little bordery pieces that she had. So I've done the scallop, which I did, I showed y'all I had to cut that. Then I'm a little zigzaggy piece, and I'm putting this little stripe across the top, and I really enjoy this. I think this looked, but y'all, I'm not going to lie, this layout turned out way better than I actually thought it was going to. Initially, when I saw it, I thought, I don't know how I'm going to make this do right. I'm not sure about my circular elements, et cetera, et cetera. And I'm actually really pleased with how this came out. And honestly, I don't know, maybe it's just Vicki Boutin. You just can't go wrong with Vicki Boutin, right? So anyway, I've got my kind of main little border sections glued down. The other thing I'll tell you is these wood grain papers came out of a paper pad, and the top of it had like a purple branding strip, and you can see just the very top up there. And when I trimmed it to the actual 12 by 12, it left that tiny little, probably 1/8 inch purple band along the top. And I really like that. I think that adds a little something. I think it kind of helps enclose the layout or connect the layout. And so I'm not even sad about that either. So then I decided I'm going to scuff the edges of all my little photo mats here. So I'm going to use my scissors to do that. I started to pull the little tool out, but honestly, I think the scissors do it a little bit faster. And I'm realizing at this point that I'm going to end up taking a while on this layout. So I decided to use my scissors and start gluing everything down. And so I'm on the last little bits here. And I'm going to kind of, organize my photos. I was really proud, too, that I was able to get all my photos to kind of match how she had that in the sketch as well. And so I'm going to glue all this stuff down. And while I left this piece in here, you probably could have not had to see all this, although I do show you the little circle pieces here. And again, I've also scuffed the edges of those circles. So I'm just kind of organizing everything, where she shows it on the layout, or the sketch rather. And the next thing I'm going to do is I have gone into all my ephemeras and things, and I cut all that out because I was sorting and choosing and fasting and all that. But I'll just kind of point out what I've done. I had some pre-cut black circles. I think I had punched them out for some other layout at some point. I really couldn't tell you when. And I thought those looked kind of good behind a couple of my little other circles here. So I got it on the upper left, and I got on the upper right. And then the ephemera pack actually came with a big circle that I put down on the left-hand side page, but in the lower right, I've got a little circle going around that circle that I have. And then I found some little notebook punch-looking things that's poking out the left-hand side of my main photo up there. And that's my daughter, by the way. She's looking at me. I think I've got this as 2003. She was about 5 here. And then this is what I found to take the place, or to take that position of that little thing she had across the bottom of a couple of the photos, is a little chipboard piece with little gold diamonds on it. And I really like that too. And then I have found some little ephemera pieces that are like little florals and things that kind of frame the photos. So you'll see that on the left-hand side of those little, I don't know what those are. Those little antelope deals with the spiral horns. And I put one at the bottom of the zebras, and I put one at the top of my little foot deal, and then a little on the right-hand side of the picture of my husband helping my daughter on the little rocks over there. So I've got those little floral pieces that are just kind of framing that stuff out. I do put that little chipboard piece at the bottom of the foot picture, so I'm going to put that other little circular element there. I have a round floral element behind the little circular piece that goes between the two little 3x4 photos. I'm just kind of trying to, again, I'm just filling out these little clusters here, and I actually really like how these look. I also found all these little phrases inside this little pack. One says like here and there, one says this and that, one says staying in the now, and I thought those all look kind of neat in the middle of these little circles, so I'm happy with that. And I'm going to end up putting foam underneath all those. I'll cut a lot of that out because I did Frankenstein those. I had a bunch of little small, I'll pull out baggies. I have little baggies of my little spare pieces of foam, and I'm going to pull those out and put those behind those little wordy bits. But in the meantime, I'm just kind of gluing these circular pieces down. Now, I have that pencil or that pen looking deal up there at the moment. It's a pen. Yeah, it's a pen. And I contemplated using that as like a extra horizontal element up there, but I haven't glued it down, and I don't glue it down, and I end up taking it off, so it does not stay. So here I have, what have I done at this point? Okay, I know I'm going to do the title, so I'm kind of looking for the title. And what else have I got going on, y'all? Okay. Oh, I'm finished up the Frankenstein stuff. That's what it is. I'm putting the last of the foam bits behind my little wordy bits there. I actually get the title out of something that is not my Vicki Boutin. I looked, and I couldn't really find a title that really went with this, and I did find one. It was like I think it was an old Maggie Holmes collection, and it said Explore. And so I'm going to use Explore, and then I'm going to spell out Fossil Rim with some kind of dark gray letters that go with all that. And I'm really happy with how that turned out too. I think right now I'm just kind of getting that last little bits of the floral here with the foamy bits behind it. So I do put foam up underneath those two left-hand side florals. I put it underneath all the, like I said, all the little wordy bits. Oh, also in the lower left circle of my footprint one, there's a little thing that says make today count, and I put foam up underneath that as well. Saturn, of course, Saturn had a traumatizing day, y'all. I kind of had to be a little bit patient with her. My daughter and her boyfriend had come. They were driving all the way back down from wherever they was at. I don't know, Minnesota, Wisconsin, one of those northern states up there. And they had stayed the night to make their way all the way down to Houston today. And he has a dog. So they brought this little dog. And I say little dog. It's a little, I don't know what it is. Little, not a terrier, but he's like a medium-sized dog. It's not one of them little small dogs. It's kind of a medium-sized dog. And he's well-behaved. There's nothing wrong with the dog. But the cat, that's not her world. And she was freaked out. So she was hiding under the bed the whole night. She was like, what is this other creature in this house? And she did not like that. So I'm feeling a little bit sad for her today. She was kind of traumatized. Anyway, I'm spelling out Fossil Rim. So Fossil Rim, I'll just tell y'all real quickly. So Fossil Rim, I mentioned in the intro, is that it's in Glen Rose, Texas. And it's where some real live, y'all, my cat's knocking stuff over, real live dinosaur tracks are. They're kind of in the water. And that's why you see us kind of near these water pieces with my daughter. They're under the water. That's what kind of preserves them. The one my foot's in, if I'm honest with you, I don't think it's real. I think that's one that they just kind of put out there for people to kind of stomp in if they want to. But the ones in the water are real. You're not supposed to touch those. But then they have this little safari type deal where you ride your car and you can feed the little, feed the animals with some feed that you buy. You know, it's one of those kind of deals with the kiddos. There's tons of kiddos. And it was a summertime thing for us. It was like a long weekend. We just drove down there, and I think we stayed the night. I can't swear on it, though. We might not have, because it's only about maybe 2 hours. I'm thinking about 2 hours from my house. It's not that far. And we drove down there for I want to say it was for the day, so maybe it was only an hour and a half to 2 hours. And we stayed down there and had picnic lunch and all that stuff, and it was hot, y'all. I mean, I just know it was. I remember it being hot. But it was a good day. My daughter had a good time. I don't think she really cares to feed the animals, though. I don't think she likes them coming up to her at that time. They're kind of big, you know, and she was little. She's about 5, so. I did go back into my ephemera because I decided I wanted to add a little bit of interest. I felt like, okay, I liked it, but it still felt a little bit empty to me. So I pulled out a little black floral, and then I thought these clouds looked really pretty. And I thought, you know what, I'm going to pull these clouds out. It kind of looks like a sky up there to me. I don't really know why, but there was 3 little clouds, so I'll grab these 3 clouds. And I'm going to end up putting the left-hand cloud up on foam. The other 2 I'll glue down straight, but I'll put some foam behind that. And I'm just kind of fassing around here, y'all, looking for something. I think I find one more black floral for the left-hand side, and I go ahead and pick out a butterfly. And that gold butterfly is real pretty, too. I'll end up putting a little glue underneath his little body. I actually don't put foam underneath his wings, believe it or not, y'all. But the way I kind of organized him on the page, he kind of poked in stuff. He didn't really need all that, so I do not know why I have left me fastened around in this box full of ephemera in here. I should have probably cut this out, y'all. You know what? Hang on one second. Okay, y'all, I cut out that bits where I was just kind of fastening around and gluing stuff down. But I did go off into my little goodies that I got this weekend at my Great American Scrapbook Convention. And I had bought these little wood veneer things. It was a Close to My Heart booth, and I forgot what they called them, but they're little wood veneer pieces. They're little arrows. And so I got those and pulled some of those out, and I put 2 on the left-hand side up there, and I had a little swirly-whirly arrow right there, and then I put another little arrow down in the lower right corner underneath those 2 pictures, and I think that added a nice little touch there. It felt a little more complete. And then now I'm just going to add a little bit of journaling here about how we visited Glen Rose, Texas for a family trip, and it was in 2003. I did not add any mixed media. I thought about it, but I had, you know, stuff kind of going on here, and she didn't really show it, and I thought, you know what, I'm not going to mess with mixed media because it was already taking me a while, and I was already having a really long video. So here is the slowdown. You can kind of see what I got going on here. I think this turned out really cute. I'm not even sad or unhappy about this at all. I was a little scared. Those 2-page sketches always intimidate for some reason, and it's not like I don't know how to make a 2-page layout, but for whatever reason, it kind of scares me when I start, and then I always like how it turns out. So I think it turned out real cute. I'll show you the close-ups here. Thank you guys so much for watching. There will be one more video tomorrow. It'll be the 30th. Even though this was the last layout I did, I do still have one more video tomorrow, and I guess so will everybody else that's playing along. So do make sure you check out the playlist. So many videos, y'all. And Christy's been doing a great job, too. Each day she's been sharing live the layouts that are posted in the Facebook group. So make sure you kind of check out her lives as well. She shows a whole bunch of layouts at one time. Thank you guys so much for watching, and we will see you tomorrow. Bye.